My heart thumped wildly, thrumming in my ears. What in God's name was I doing? Above me, the sky was molten black, speckled with stars as dazzling as diamonds. I had my unwrinkleable plaid blazer wadded up under my head as a pillow. My long, sun-bleached hair was stringy from the salt air, and I hugged my knees against my chest in the fetal position. I felt small, insignificant, and very alone. The water mirrored the heavens as the high-speed ferry carried me across the Ionian Sea to the island of Corfu. But what, exactly, I asked myself, was I speeding toward? The short answer was Alexei, a tall, dark Greek man with mischievous green eyes whom I'd met the week before while vacationing on Corfu with my friend Andrea. The long answer wasn't so clear. The first night Andrea and I had spent on Corfu, we went to a bar where raucous Americans and Australians were slurring, groping, and for some reason breaking plates over people's heads. I'd observed from a distance atop a picnic bench, feeling like I should want to participate. I was 20, after all, but having no desire to. I knew that wasn't what I had come to Greece for. Although if you'd asked me to pinpoint what I had come for, I wouldn't have been able to. History? Mystery? Something akin to culture? Whatever it was, I was sure it was not at that bar. Soon after, though, I got a glimpse. A man whom Andrea had met insisted on taking us to a souvlaki stand up the road from the beach for a late lunch. We trudged along the sand and turned up a one-lane road lined with souvenir shops. The road took us to a nondescript restaurant with 4 orange tables on a covered patio. I was unimpressed, until the owner, Alexei, rode up on a yellow motorbike and unfurled his long, swarthy frame. We sparred verbally all afternoon over platters of grilled, marinated pork skewers, crispy fries, and a big platter of Greek salad. Then Alexei leaned over to me and said, "There's something I want to show you. Be ready tomorrow morning." The next day, I watched dawn crack on the horizon, spreading a sultry light as smooth as butter over the island. Alexei pulled up on his motorbike, and I climbed on and wrapped my arms around his waist. The wind whipped my hair as he steered up the main road past vineyards, orchards, and cemeteries, then through a little village. I live there with my family. He pointed to a whitewashed stone house on the right. As we reached the end of the village and began to zigzag up the steep dirt path, my nose tingled with dust and the scent of minty herbs. I could see snatches of turquoise sea between the gnarled trunks of ancient olive trees. At the top of the mountain, Alexei stopped the bike on a plateau hundreds of feet above the ocean. Bees buzzed in the wildflowers, waves rolled in like pinstripes on the sea below, and the air smelled herbal and fresh, like my mother's spice rack. I was taken aback not just by the beauty, but by a sense of peace like I'd never felt before. Then Alexei took me home to that little white house we'd passed in the village where his father, Spiros, was cooking lunch. I was cautious. Surely I was but one in a long string of young foreign women who had crossed that threshold. But Spiros put me instantly at ease. "Pasitsava," he said, pressing into my hands a bowl of long, thick noodles drenched in tomato sauce with shards of meat that smelled like ginger snaps. We sat at the simple wooden table in the kitchen, Alexei at the head and Spiros and me across from each other. I twirled some noodles around my fork and brought it to my mouth. The sauce tasted nothing like the jarred ragu I knew so well. It was rich and savory with a swirl of spices and a slightly sweet finish. I sucked on the noodles and, to my horror, found they were hollow. They flapped against my cheeks like Medusa's locks with a loud slurp flap flap, leaving tomato sauce all over my face. Mortified, I looked across at Spiros as I wiped away the sauce, but he just chuckled, his blue eyes twinkling.